Hello Internet. Old guy in shed. Called this Small Victories. My small victories. That's what I want to talk about. Well, first small victory is my MV Augusta has now been registered to use on the roads here in the UK. The victory is over the bureaucracy that we have to go through to get a motorbike on the road that has been imported as a historic vehicle. Done it, got it, ridden it on the road. It's a lovely little bike. It does have a horrendous miss just as you open it up. I think I know what it is. I'll bring that to you as and when I know. Excuse me. Another small victory is my noisy Falcone is now sorted and it's running how I like it, and it's not that tappity bangy anymore. What you do is you get hold of a manual, or you go on the internet and you find out the specific absolute how to set them. You do that, then you pull your hair out because it's just not right. What you do is you throw the book away as far as the tappets are concerned, and you set them by feel, because I discovered by setting the tappets as per the book, cold, stone cold, and then screwing it back together, getting the engine hot, rechecking the tappets, the gaps are huge, not little, not slightly more, huge. There's the noise. So you've got to just do it by feel, put it together, and away to go. On the subject of tappets, interestingly enough, I serviced my V85, which is a 2019 machine, I think, yeah, 2019. And I took the tops off to do the tappets again. Got to think about tappets just lately. And the actual adjuster piece, not the rockers and that, but although I don't know, I didn't really take that much, I just noticed the actual adjuster itself. They have these like little stub with a flat drive on it, with a nut and all that. It's identical to the Falcone. I'm sure you could take it out of the V85 and screw it into the Falcone. It's identical. And I guess the adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I love the Italians and the way they do things. Love it. That's just as an aside. But that's another small victory, getting my my V85 got enough miles on it that I had to service it, which I'm surprised at. I'm amazed how many miles I've done on it. Okay, I went on a trip to France on it, which threw on a good chunk of miles, but nonetheless, since I've owned it, I've done quite a lot of miles. Like I said, I've been up to Scotland on it, I've done France on it, I've been up to see a Palamine in Ironbridge on it. So I've done quite a lot, really. I've done a lot of miles on it, and it's just not, touch wood, it hasn't missed a beat. Right, that's another small victory. In other news, talking about small victories, and this is my idea of a small victory, I don't know what yours is, but mine, for example, I went for a ride on Sunday and down the lanes with the Palamine, had a great time, really nice. Got back in the afternoon, put my bike in the garage. This was the V85 again, and within minutes of coming home, it started raining. I didn't go out, it was lovely. Had a really nice day out. As soon as I got the bike in the shed, got myself in the house, starts raining. To me, that's a little victory. It's just it's a little victory. And we could all do a little, they're not big things, they're not going to change your life. These little victories are not going to change your life. But they just make you, life's okay, it isn't too bad. I can go with this. And so, like I say, these little victories are really very nice. I went up north to see a Palamine. I was going to take 750 Breva for him to have a ride of it. So what he thought, but the weather was so bad here, it was biblical, the rain, so I didn't take a bike up. I was only going to take it up on the trailer anyway, but I thought, no, I'll leave it. It's going to be like this all weekend. And the following day up there in Cheshire, it was a beautiful weekend, absolutely beautiful, Saturday. So I went over to him to see my pal anyway, and he said, we'll go out for a ride. I've got 2 bikes here we can use. One was an A7 500 BSA, beautiful old bike, it is a beautiful bike. And an immaculate Royal Enfield that he's built himself. It is the modern-ish sort of Indian variant, not an original one, but he's built it like an original one with a single seat and a beautiful paint job, and really is a lovely looking thing. And he said 350 or the 500, so you can take either. I said, well, I'll take the 350. I'd ridden the 500, but I'd never ridden this. And I had a little tiny go on a 350 Enfield, but I couldn't remember what it was like. So I said, yeah, I'll take the Enfield. And he said, oh, it's not really powerful. I said, I ride a Falcone, I know what not powerful is all about. So anyway, we went for a ride all around Cheshire. We went to a place called Jodrell Bank, which is a radio telescope. Been there for years and years. It's a bit of an impressive kit. Google it if you wish, Jodrell Bank. I went a cup of tea in a bowl. He said, what do you think of the 350? I said, well, you're right, it isn't like the Falcone. It's about the same power as the Falcone, just probably may even be a little bit quicker than the Falcone in fairness. But it's not got the flywheel. You know, the Falcone has this massive flywheel, so it just thuds, and it's a lazy feel to the way it rides. Whereas this was, buzzy is the wrong word, but it didn't have a flywheel. So you were up and down the gearbox a little bit more, and not as lazy, but not powerful. It was it's very difficult to make that comparison because there isn't one. You'd either like this. He's got a Goldie Pattern exhaust on it, and it is loud, but not in a nasty way. It's loud, and you go, well, that's good. You know, whether you could put up with it on a long journey, I'm not sure. But anyway, just listening to it and listening to the Falcone and the way the Falcone just rolls off, but just runs into a corner and then you ease it out. And say, this is oh, you brake, you don't change down, you do stuff. But nonetheless, little victory. We went out for a ride on the Sunday round Cheshire. Very good, very impressive day out. I'm not going to make this a great big long episode because I just wanted to sort of say, well, I've enjoyed my little victories, particularly the Falcone, which is now a much more peaceful bike than I had for a while, because it was down to, it got noisy, so I serviced it, you know, and it didn't go away, and I got really worried. So we took it all apart, and a pal of mine helped me, and we got rid of the Thackeray washers on the rocker arms to increase the oil pressure slightly, thinking it might be something a bit more serious, and it wasn't. I mean, the oil pump is tremendous on it. You just turn it over once or twice, and you've got oil. You know, right up at the head. It's fantastic. And so, but it put to rest in my mind that the internals of this engine are okay. And what it was this bloody tappet issue, and servicing it by the book, and then going, well, actually the book stinks. And so I've got rid of all of that. So there we have it. They are my small victories. I hope you have lots of small victories. I hope you have big victories. It's okay to have big victories, but they are my current small victories that make me feel a lot better about life. If any of you have any questions about the Falcone, I will answer it, because some people have asked about it. But basically, when it comes to doing the service on it, stick to the right oils. and don't stick to the book when it comes to the tappets. Everything else, stick to the book. I might as well say it now rather than mess about. What I did was I backed off the locking nut and I got it so it's nice and free, the actual adjuster, and I ran it right the way down and put a pinch on it so you can't get hold of the push rods. If I could get hold of the push rods, I could feel the turn on them, but you can't. So you've got to just run it down with your fingers, to put a bit of a nip, just with your fingers. Don't use a spanner or pliers or anything like that, just with your fingers, and then just back off an eighth, nip, done, worked. I did check the compression before I started this process. I checked it afterwards, so I know I haven't got tight valves on startup. So that's good, that's excellent, and away to go. And as soon as it went first kick, having done this, and I knew instantly that I'd improved the job. Knew absolutely instantly. Even when it got hot, it sounds fine, sounds fine. You don't hear the tappets because it's that sort of an engine, but it's not that loud rap, rap, rap. So it's really good. So that's me for today. It's a bit early for me, this. You know, I've got to wait another hour before I can pour my glass of wine. The reason for that is I'm very strict with it, because if I start drinking in daylight hours, as it were, well, it's not daylight, but certainly if I start drinking early afternoon, I will consider myself an alcoholic. But I'm not. I have my evening beverage, and these little libations are okay. I think I can say I'm a moderate alcoholic. No, I'm not. I'm not alcoholic at all. I can actually do without it. I just choose not to. Is that the definition of an alcoholic? Don't know. But anyway, I have an hour or so to waste. So what I'm going to do now is end this video and do a little bit of work on one of my bikes here. And I will talk to you all again very soon. Ring the bell. Subscribe. Tell your friends. Press the little likey thummy thing. I'd appreciate that. And maybe next time I'll have something more technical to talk about other than me feeling smug about having little victories. Take care, folks. All the best.